You got Jeff Jones. He wants this. He wants to get up in the mix. Can Jeff Jones do it, taking down this FD rookie? We are our first battle of the Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. Here we go. LZ leading. Jones giving chase. LZ initiates into the bank. Good angle from LZ. Jeff Jones taking some angle out of it. LZ definitely could be higher on the bank as he drops in, taking that very shallow line. Gets out that second outer zone, coming into the third. A wide swing by LZ. He is hooked and humming as it allows Jeff Jones to gain some proximity there because he took that wide swing. Oh, a small correction there. I don't think he completely straightened out, but we'll have to take a look at that again there, Ryan.
Well, he got a great jump, didn't he? Right out of the gate, LZ started pulling away from the veteran Jeff Jones. As we take a look at this again, there's a couple moments that we want to pick up on, especially through the power alley, but the bank, great job by Jones trying to match the line, but he reduces the angle there, and you can see the proximity not as close to Adam LZ as he wants to be. LZ goes a little bit deep into outside zone 2, gets late into outside zone 3, wide sweeping turn here. Now, Jones cannot allow himself to get pinched off. LZ does have the right of way. You can pass on an inside clip, but it really does need to be a clear pass. So Jones would have to let Adam late apex that. Here it is from the big bank once again. You can see that reduction of angle from Jones, trying to figure out what he needs to do to gain proximity here on Adam LZ. Now coming down into this center section, you can see LZ just taking out that last standing cone of that outside zone number 2. And then here's that wide sweeping turn from LZ. Jones gets super close, does a pretty good job there, doesn't allow himself to get pinched off, but then a straightening up right there by LZ, independent out front, could hurt him towards the end. So switching things up here, Jared, as Adam LZ will now chase down Jeff Jones.
Jeff Jones, as you say, will lead. Some mistakes there. Don't leave in the judge's hand. Want to see a cleaner run. LZ flirting with a potential incomplete there towards the latter portion of the track. You saw as he brought it out of the outside zone 4. And like talking with Lantain up here, it was flirting with it being an incomplete, but I don't think it was. So here we go. Jeff Jones will lead. LZ give a chase. Nice flick initiation there by Jeff Jones. Oh, Jeff working it to the top. Adam LZ, middle of the bank. Now that's the line you want to take, Jeff. Proper execution. And LZ not even getting out to that second outer zone and really straightens up on zone number 3. Now coming into that final outside zone, Jeff dips it in. Really good execution there by Jones. I want to look at this again as Jeff put the car in the right places, higher on the bank as opposed to LZ. But watch Adam, he really he hit a really interesting line coming into the power alley, going to that second outer zone.
Well, it was a good start from LZ on his lead run. You can see trying to initiate close to Jeff Jones on the big bank. Jones maintaining that higher line there initially and staying pretty consistent. Here comes LZ trying to close the door, angling up. He's going to fall back a little bit through the power alley, past that decel zone into outside zones 2 and 3. Now trying to play catch up here as Jones whips through that inside clip into the final transition here. And Jones just on the inside of that outside zone. You can see LZ surge there, had to make a little bit of an adjustment, put him on a lower line for a second. Then he scoots back up to where Jones is now. And Jones coming off the zone into the power alley. Great job on 2 and 3, just getting to the edge of outside zone number 3. And then a smooth transition to outside zone 4 where he gets that left rear wheel right into the zone. So good job by Jeff Jones in the lead position here in our first battle in the top 16.
All right, let's see if we have a verdict here and quickly jump to it. Slide him left for LZ, right for Jeff Jones. And unfortunately for LZ, he is knocked out, but Jeff Jones moving on. Awesome job by Jeff Jones, dialing it in. The Doc Edelbrock GT Radial 350Z advances on. Adam LZ Field in the mix. Matt Field through that start chicane. Justin Pollock now throwing it down. Matt Field initiates. Really well done there by Field. Pollock, oh, some shimming there by Pollock. Trying to massage it a little bit closer. Now coming down that power alley.
There you go.
Nice job in that second outside zone. Goes Field. Pollock has passed that front clip and into the final clipping zone. Look at that. Really well done there. I liked your little sound effects there, Ryan. Did you go, bloop, bloop? Was that it?
No. That was the minor whoo.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, that was a big adjustment by Matt Field from previous runs coming off the bank. I thought he did a tremendous job in his lead. Gets himself settled for initiation. Pollock eyeing up where to attack as soon as he initiates. As you mentioned, a little bit of reduction from Pollock after he kind of angles up there. But Field, a great job. Remember, he went into the wall here yesterday. This time he does it perfectly, comes down into outside zone number 2. Full throttle through that section. Pollock trying to attack, surges forward. Here he comes through inside clip number 1. Good angle by Field. Final transition here. Both drivers almost in tandem there on that last section. Now here it is. You saw that decel zone right there used perfectly by Matt Field out front. Pollock coming off a little bit early from outside zone number 3 and then whipping there through inside clip number 1. Good transition there from Pollock, but Field was a little bit deeper. And so we got a good start to the battle here. And Matt Field certainly making some adjustments from the 32 and looking like he is poised here in the top 16.
And that's what I was talking about, Ryan. In 32, it didn't seem like Matt Field was just all there, right? And as him and Rome Charpentier, he's just driving a lot better. He ticked all the boxes here on this run. But now Justin Pollock, he's going to try to do the same. Wow, early initiation by Field. Don't know if that's going to pay off. So almost literally alternating positions. Oh man, look at Field sweating JTP. Great job by Justin Pollock. Field jumps up to the side of JT. Oh, we got contact. Oh man, just could not temper that flame, Ryan. Oh, what was going through his head, man?
He seemed very aggressive from the onset. You mentioned the initiation, the early initiation, put him down on a lower line. And he did make some adjustments after that, but of course we have a collision here, which is defined as when one or more of the vehicles stop. And we'll bring in Ryan Lantain here to give us an interpretation, but you can see Field was fighting, try to get back up on the line of Pollock as they're getting to the outer end of outside zone number 1. Super close there by Field, surging forward, making a good adjustment not to hit him as Pollock is in the lead coming through outside zone 2. But Field surges forward right there on inside clip 1, and he catches him right here with the right front wheel. And Ryan, tell us what you saw there.
It looked like Matt surged forward just at the wrong time.
Yep.
He may have tried to anticipate a move that JTP was going to make. Maybe he thought JTP was about to pull away, but right here you can see he just surges forward and unfortunately makes contact with JTP's front left wheel, and it doesn't look like JTP is doing anything illegal there, let's call it. He's doing everything by the book. He's on throttle. He's maintaining momentum. So, in my opinion, it looks like Matt Field is at fault for that hit.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for him. But Justin Pollock, he continued on through the course, and those American Racing wheels took a hit, but kept on rolling. And let's see, it looks like RD coming in, so I assume they're going to slide him right there for JTP. Unfortunately, Matt Field's day is done, but Justin Pollock gets the win. The Falcon Tires Roush Performance Ford Mustang unanimously moves on. So JTP will be going against Jeff Jones. They're in the Great 8. So like I said, the Falcon Tire, it's a win-lose for them, but it is Great 8. We got JTP to go against, man.
The relentless one.
Relentless. Here we go. Top 16, Ryan Tuerck, Alec Robbins. All right, so Robbins, the FD rookie here. See if he could throw it down in this Nissan 350Z. A very aggressive driver. They got into it earlier today. It wasn't his fault, but Robbins lost power. They had contact. Both cars ready to rip. As Stefan says, Ryan's got this. I don't need to tell him anything. Ryan Tuerck, that gum-out Toyota Racing Toyota Corolla hatchback. High on the bank. Robbins, there's that pressure. As Tuerck, nice wide line, really hung on that wall. Oh, and there's Robbins making contact. But look at Ryan Tuerck staying in it. Robbins straightens out. And Tuerck continues on through the course. I mean, kudos to him for staying in it. Those rotiform wheels taking a hit, and the Nitto tires keep on spinning.
Well, if there is a pathway for Ryan Tuerck to undo what happened to him yesterday against Frederick Osbo, this battle is one to certainly watch. He was just 24 points outside of first place coming into this event. And with Osbo out, it's a huge opportunity here to capture those points by a win against Alec Robbins, who is aggressively chasing down Ryan Tuerck, but making some critical mistakes as Tuerck out front, beautiful on that second and third outside zone, taking contact from Alec Robbins, but staying in it. And then there you see the off course from Robbins, so it'll be an incomplete there for the chase driver. And Ryan Tuerck now having to maybe take a look at the vehicle, but sitting with some semblance of comfort as he goes to the chase position here against Robbins. There's Robbins through the smoke line. We see this from time to time. It's the first one I think we've seen in outside zone number 3. And that outside zone 3 is the decel zone for that section of the course. And it looks like all 3 judges giving fault to Alec Robbins.
I mean, I really like the aggressiveness at Robbins, but dial it back a little bit, man. Some of these rookies are coming in way too hard, and you know, stuff is expensive. You know what I mean? Like, and you got to dial it down a little bit. That's not how you're gonna. It's not how you're gonna win. We like the rubbing is racing, but at the same time, like, just have a little control.
It's a fine line, right? For sure, but got to hold it back.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, as Ryan Tuerck, again, Alec Robbins at fault. Ryan Tuerck does not need to call a competition timeout. That timeout for them. Right now it's Denofa and FD rookie Masuyama. And the Wataru Drift S15 Sylvia. And Chelsea Denofa getting the win at round 2 in St. Louis. That was on Sunday. And Chelsea Denofa will lead. Masuyama giving chase. Let's see how Chelsea Denofa handles this FD rookie. Wow. Oh, Chelsea Denofa getting into the wall, shredding some parts, but flying through the bank. Absolutely ripping. That could have been absolutely tragic for him as Masuyama slides his way almost into the side of Chelsea. Wow, Chelsea really getting that car in the back end exactly where it needs to be. You can see, I mean, their bumper budget at RTR is off the charts.
That was almost one of those, you know, Chelsea is his own worst enemy lead runs there, because it could have been a lot worse than that. He was blazing out of the start. Look at this gap established here, and then you can see the car starting to angle up. He taps it with the rear bumper and then loses it, but still a huge gap here as Masuyama is trying to make up ground. And Denofa, he's a little bit tight on outside zone 2, came back on 3 much better. Masuyama at that period of the course where things can crunch down was able to catch up a little bit, but not playing much of a factor in the chase against that very fast Mustang of Chelsea Denofa.
And there is Dean and his team there dropping it. You can see the jack. It looks like Dean's jumping in, hood's back on. Don't know what the issue is exactly. We'll have to find out from his team or a spotter. There, the head sock goes on. Balaclava. And there we go. So, and we are hearing that Alec Robbins did make the 5-minute, the competition timeout, the NGK competition timeout. As the power steering belt is what we're hearing from Dean Kearney's spotter, Scott. And Masuyama will now lead. Chelsea Denofa giving chase. I am definitely interested to see how this will go down. A lot of smoke filling the venue. And looks like, unfortunately, we got a little iced here because Chelsea Denofa shredding that wall, so losing some. Looks like we got the wing in his hand, and there you can see again that power steering belt. Man, this event just really beats up the cars, and that's what I was kind of expecting. It might be a blessing that it was wet yesterday.
Could be right about
you know
that.
What I mean?
Yeah, this is a tough course, especially with all the variables. You know, you got the bank, you got the water when it's coming down, you've got slick parts, fast walls, everything.
Yep. Yeah. So like I said, it kind of chilled everybody out literally and cooled everybody down. If we had 2 dry days, we would have seen I think a lot more carnage, even given how much we've already seen. Here we go. Masuyama out front initiating. In that Buy Now Japan S15 Sylvia, Chelsea Denofa hanging with him, keeping the same amount of distance. Could get a little closer here. I mean he's definitely close, but as they go into that power alley, Masuyama fills both those outside zones of the power alley, tight to that front clip, and deep in that outside zone. Really well executed there by both drivers.
Probably a good strategy here from Denofa. I thought maybe he would push a little bit harder and kind of close that gap down, but you can see he's about a car and a half length back, so obviously better there in terms of relational proximity from the previous run. Masuyama coming down in outside zone 2, just gets to the edge of 3. Denofa looking pretty good here, not full maxing it out in terms of closing the door, but getting probably the job done here. Not really seeing any major mistakes from Masuyama out front. Was pretty high on the bank. Does a good job utilizing that decel zone. And you can see just getting a tire in there to 2 and right at the edge of 3. That inside clip really did a great job there. Good transition back around. Final approach to the outside zone. And a good solid lead run. What he's known for in Japan is that real silky smooth style, and that's showing up here. But was it enough to take out Chelsea Denofa?
All right, Denofa and Masuyama waiting to see if there is an outcome here. Are they going one more time? Is it Chelsea Denofa or FD rookie Masuyama? The verdict is in. Slide him left for Chelsea, right for Masuyama. As Yule says, Denofa, as does Lantain and Brian Egger. Denofa gets the win. Deficit, unofficially, that Robbins has to make up here in the Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple, the official synthetic oil of Formula Drift. Robbins will lead. Ryan Tuerck will give chase. Robbins from, again, Becker, Minnesota. Ryan Tuerck from New Hampshire. And here we go. Robbins versus Tuerck. Clean start, no cones hit. Oh, Robbins with that swing across the nose, that Toyota Racing Toyota Corolla hatchback. Robbins, pretty high on the bank. Tuerck, I believe, keeping a safe distance, kind of playing it safe here. Potentially getting blinded by the smoke there. That smoke is thick. We got dry conditions. Oh, Tuerck with a wide swing around that front clip. And then bringing it across the finish line. I think Tuerck wasn't exactly on the line. Yeah, the needle, you're gesturing with your finger. Which way does the needle go, Ryan? And I think Tuerck could have been tighter, but overall, I think he's going to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, the strategy, again, in this position, we've seen it a number of times this weekend. And Tuerck does make a couple of mistakes. You know, he's trying to follow Robbins. He pushes out a bit wide here. And he will not be able to make those mistakes if he advances on against the likes of Hughes or Kearney, who we're going to see coming up next. But I think you're right. It looks like he got just enough to get it done against Alec Robbins. And Robbins, I still say, has been one of the more impressive rookie drivers we've seen in a while, coming up from Pro 2 last year and putting on a real show, especially at St. Louis, where we just saw him be comfortable right from the get-go. So let's go to the judges' scorecards and see how things advance.
Slide him left for Tuerck, right for Robbins, and Ryan Tuerck gets the win. Ryan Tuerck gets the win. He advances on into the Great 8. And now he's going against D. Hughes, the dozer, and that Permatex fast orange BMW. Dylan will lead as Dean Kearney will give chase. Got a clean start. Here we go. Dylan Hughes initiates, nice little flick in. Well done. Dean Kearney quickly gets to the side, has to back off, take some angle out of it. Hughes, very settled, minimal corrections. You can see Dean Kearney, some waiver. Oh my goodness, Dylan Hughes way off course. That, oh man, big correction there. That will be an incomplete. That throws off Dean Kearney. What happened there? And it seems like might have some issues. I don't think Dylan called the comp timeout yet. I know he got, you could see that big black mark there from Tyler Nelson.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where Dylan overcooked it. Obviously, the question is why. And you can imagine that 1,200 horsepower Dodge Viper breathing down on you in your back bumper, and he just comes off outside zone 1 a bit late there and goes 3 tires off. Ryan Lantain, if we can bring you in just for a second here. Is that just a matter of staying in the zone a little bit too long? Is that momentum being carried out too far? What happened there with Dylan?
Well, the fact that he just called the competition timeout makes me think that it's something mechanical. Yeah, he wouldn't be calling a comp timeout if he hadn't had some kind of mechanical issue here that needs to be repaired, because he didn't touch the wall, he didn't have any kind of contact with Dean or anything like that. So there has to be a mechanical reason. You can see he lifted pretty heavily at the end of that zone, and he didn't have the power to drive himself off of outside zone 2, so the car just floated out wide there and went off, and then he straightened up completely. So yeah, I think that's all it was.
Yeah, major issue there as he takes his NGK competition timeout. Really excited. He says, man, this weekend's been really good. Really excited about it. And yes, I do agree with him. Taguchi, you know what to expect. He's keeps it consistent. Keeps it tight. Taylor Hole already on the line. Taguchi warming up his GT radials. underneath his up garage S15. Cadillac ATS-V of Taylor Hull. Been getting a lot of seat time in that, just drifting in a bunch of different events, so it's great to see him just progress with that car, you know, here multiple seasons with that Cadillac, and seems like he's really getting it dialed from, you know, a couple of years ago to now. It's a much different car. It's a different Taylor. So getting thumbs up there from our camera crew, and we are ready to send it. So Hull and Taguchi, the winner, going against Denofa. So you're going to have to bring it here. You know you're going against Denofa, and you saw Lorette and heard what the sentiments were of Chelsea. He's ready to throw down. Can he win again? Here we go. Hull and Taguchi. Hull initiates. Kind of a slow roll there, allowing Taguchi to get to him. That was kind of weird. Didn't stop, but definitely a slow initiation as Taguchi right there on the door. Taylor Hull looking really, gets a massive angle there from Hull. Good flick. Hull fluid through that third outside zone into that front clip. Really like that line. That segment right in the middle from outside zone 3 and bringing it was very fluid. This seems like a really cool, calm, collect Taylor as opposed to sometimes just gets a little more volatile. But I like the line there, Ryan. What do you think?
No, I think he's made vast improvements this year, and this was a good back and forth battle, at least from my opinion. You saw Taguchi surging forward. We saw a little bit of a kind of a straight roll initiation from Taylor Hull, but then Hull gets back on it, starts pulling into that outside zone 3, pulls away from Taguchi a little bit, makes a smooth transition back around, and just beautiful execution on that outside zone 4. But Taguchi was able to tuck in there and close the door towards the end. So we saw a little bit of a back and forth. We saw how well Taguchi chased on the bank. And now we will switch things up as we also see in the foreground there, looks like Dylan Hughes, 2 minutes and 50 seconds counting into his competition timeout against Dean Kearney.
First thing is, I think the Hughes team needs a funnel. and then obviously, all joking aside, just need to get it to the line. Here we go. Switching up the order here. Kazuya Taguchi will lead. Up garage GT Radial S15. You can see Taylor Hull leaving the start. Here comes Taguchi out front. Achilles tires being lit up there and underneath Taylor Hull's Cadillac.
Coming back.
And Taguchi, really big angle there, high on the bank. Oh, he actually works, a little higher. Taguchi shreds his back bumper, coming to that third outside zone. Now Taguchi tightens it up. Oh, a late transition there from Taylor Hull into that final outer zone. Ryan, did you see Taylor Hull? He hung on to that transition there for quite some time.
You said
still saved it.
Yeah, and you said sheds the bumper. I actually think, I could be wrong about this, but I think that the bumper was shaved off by Hull angling up at the end of outside zone 1. Let's see if we can take a look at it here. This is a really competitive battle, and you can see these guys going back and forth. Taguchi nice and high on the bank. Watch Hull angle up here, and you see the bumper comes off after he leaves the wall. So I think Hull was really trying to save the car there, and it was an incredible job of saving it. And he knocks off the back bumper of Taguchi in the interim there. So Taguchi leaves outside zone 2 and 3. Beautiful job there, and Hull comes up a little bit tight. He has to back off a little bit. You can see him kind of measuring the throttle. And then the final turn here, Taguchi, great job on that last outside zone, pulling away through the finish line.
Looks like the judges are requesting the BC Racing side-by-side instant replay. Oh, and this clock is for Hughes, I'd have to assume. Yep, okay, Hood's being closed here for the NGK competition timeout. Dylan is already strapped in. They're ready to go, so it looks like he will be making the comp timeout. All right, so Dylan and Kearney will finish out that battle, but here's the side-by-side, Ryan.
Yeah, and you could see Taguchi a little bit closer on proximity on the bank. How's he doing on his line in the lead? He was a bit higher there towards the end. Taylor Hull, nice job in his lead run through that inside clip number 1. This is where Hull went a little bit wide in his chase on that transition to the outside zone 4 where Taguchi pulled away, and Taguchi a little bit closer there towards the end. So judges seeing the side-by-side, that same angle there, giving us some good perspective. And does that draw the needle in one direction or the other. Taylor Hull or Kazuya Taguchi.
All right, waiting for the outcome here of Hull and Taguchi. All right, waiting for the judges. And here we go. Slide him left for Hull, right for Taguchi. That's a one more time from Chris Yule. And there it is. They are going one more time. So it's a one more time battle. And he has an incomplete. Dean Kearney shut it down after that. So Dean now leading. Both these guys utilizing their comp timeouts. Dean had that power steering belt. Dylan, don't know exactly what happened, but maybe overheated or something. We'll see. Here we go. Dean Kearney out front. Initiated into the bank. Good angle there from Dean Kearney. Dylan Hughes knows he needs to throw down in order to advance on, but Dean Kearney keeps it clean. That Oracle line and Achilles tire, Dodge Viper. Dylan Hughes pushing hard, applying the pressure. Now transitioning into that last outside zone. Dean comes up wickedly short, but unfortunately for Dylan, I think that first portion of this battle was going to be the nail in the coffin before it even began.
Yeah, that was a chase run that you wanted to see from Dylan Hughes. It was aggressive, it was fast. He followed Dean Kearney like a moving clipping point, and that's exactly what the judges are looking for. You can see really keeping the pressure on here. He dives in a little bit there as he makes that adjustment. He does miss outside zone number 2, but he gets back on it, and he kind of mirrors Dean here. But I have to agree with you, Jared, that mistake in the first run is going to cost him quite a bit.
All right, just wrapping out with the judges here and seeing what's going on, but have to assume there's going to be a quick one. And unfortunately for Dylan Hughes. All right, so Dean Carnage Kearney advances unanimously onto the next battle, as Dean Kearney will be going against Ryan. Fast and hard didn't work late into the night, so they got some sleep. And Vaughn Gittin Jr., like he said, normally we'd depart until 4 in the morning last night for getting the win, but no, you got to get some rest, because here we are back at it again, racing here. Round 4 of the 4x100 Championship. Odie Bakshis leads. Vaughn Gittin Jr. giving chase. Odie initiates. Vaughn Gittin Jr., you can see him reeling him in. Oh, look at that. Bouncing back and forth like a boxing match. Oh, massive angle there. Almost contact, but holds on to it. Odie goes deep in that second outer zone in the power alley. These guys both thrashing here. It is a mosh pit here in Evergreen Speedway. Woo-wee! Ryan, unbelievable run there from Odie Bakshis, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. definitely warrants a giggle there from Ryan Sage.
You can tell Vaughn's got the grip, right? He was using that when needed, and it was almost as he was really having to feather the clutch and the brake to try and not hit Odie Bakshis. Odie out front does a great job up on the bank. You can see the smoke is a little bit less with Odie than Vaughn, but he's still maintaining great amount of speed coming through that course, through that second outside zone. Vaughn checking up, backing off. Really good car control by Vaughn, tucking up on the inside after outside zone 3. And then right here, both drivers just mash the throttle. Huge smoke cloud as Odie fills outside zone 4 with Vaughn right there on his back bumper.
Let's take a look at it again. You can see Odie, really good angle. Vaughn, you can see just kind of undulating back and forth. Look at that, right there, almost getting contact. And in that second zone, Vaughn doesn't go as deep, and then bam, yeah, look at Vaughn does hit that back right corner, exploding his fender. Now into that final outside zone. Odie gets all the way out there. I mean, Odie knows what to expect right now. Vaughn took it all the way to the top yesterday. This should be interesting. I'm expecting a bonkers run here.
Yeah, it was a super aggressive chase from Vaughn. You said, he missed that second outside zone, and surely that he did. Odie out front gave him a great lead to chase down, and so now this will be an opportunity for the judges to really scrutinize this next run, assuming that it's a close battle, knowing that Vaughn did miss that second outside zone, but the proximity and the duration, all of it was there. Did a great job. Odie with an awesome lead. That's what you want out of a head-to-head matchup.
And here we go, Vaughn Gittin Jr. ripping out of the start chicane, and Vaughn initiates. Odie Bakshis Has the proximity. Let's throw some more angle at it there, Odie. And now comes down into the power alley, filling all that outside zone. And Odie dives in. Man, that thing sounds like a lion in transition. Oh, we got contact. Vaughn Jr. stays into it. Woo! Like I said, yeah, Vaughn was utilized as a roadblock there and kept on going. Man, that was awesome.
That was awesome. That was probably my favorite battle so far that we've seen here in the top 16. Incredible job by both competitors. Really great action back and forth. A little bit of rubbing his racing towards the end there. And we know these guys respect each other immensely. Right out of the gate, you can see they both try to stay on the, or excuse me, Odie tries to stay on the line of Vaughn. He's a little bit down lower, slightly less angle, but now he moves back in the right position. Let's see how Vaughn does on the second outside zone. Gets right there. Odie follows him through the smoke line, now into outside zone number 3. Odie gets on the brakes, moves back, attacks right here, and then he tucks his nose in right here and goes right alongside Vaughn, making contact with him. It pushes him a little bit tight. And we definitely want to see from the overhead this second outside zone here from Odie through the smoke line as he's trying to stay ahead of it and not get blinded. Here it is coming down off Vaughn right there. Actually, Odie does stay pretty close there, but he's a little bit tight on outside zone 3. So they traded zones. Vaughn missed 2, Odie missed 3 in their chase positions. And then there's that bump, which causes Odie to come up a little bit more shallow. But man, great job staying door to door with Vaughn Gittin Jr. Beautiful. Really loving that battle.
All right, and yeah, those are the points, and that's a great indicator. Again, with Odie Bakshi's in second, we talked about, you know, Osbo getting knocked out early in 32, not able to make it. Odie, I'm kind of thinking that Vaughn's going to get the win here. That's the way I'm kind of leaning. But those points overall, 100, 88, 76, 64, and so on and so forth. Here's the BC Racing side by side, Ryan.
You can see Vaughn approaches more aggressively on the left. Odie does a pretty good job on the right in his chase. That's where we see Vaughn coming up a little bit short on outside zone 2 in the chase, but they switch it. You know, Odie misses it on 3 in his chase. And then both drivers are super close here on that last outside zone. It's a really close battle. I mean, for me, this is one of those ones from yesterday of the splitting hairs.
Yeah, I think Vaughn he mimicked the angle a little bit better, and yeah, he missed some outside zones, but I think just that X factor that I always talk about, I think that was more apparent with Vaughn Gittin Jr. You can kind of tell that Odie is down on power a little bit. Chris Ewell says one more time, and Ryan Lontaine says Vaughn Gittin Jr. Brian Egger says Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win, 2-1. Perfect, Ryan. Never claimed it was.
Wouldn't be fun if you were.
Exactly. Taylor Hull, Kazuya Taguchi, the one more time battle. That comp cam's kind of like ATSV on Achilles tires. And here we go. Taylor initiating into the bank. Oh, look at that. You saw Kazuya, wow, what? You saw him lunge close, back off, throw more angle at it. He's using all the tricks in the book. Into that power alley. Taylor, oh, Kazuya straightens up and compromises some angle there to get that proximity. That might work out in spades here. And now into that final outside zone goes Taylor. Ryan, Kazuya on the bank was all over the place, man. You saw him dive in, he backed off, threw more angle at it. He was, you know, he was doing a lot of trickery there.
He kind of got it together after that inside clip, but yeah, you're right. He dove in there, he had to back off, kind of came down on the line a little bit. And this will be a good opportunity for Taylor Spotter to give him some insight about what he needs to do in his lead, or his chase rather. But Hull out front in his lead, he's doing a great job. He hit outside zone 2, got to the edge of 3, and then right here, Taguchi, 3-wheel motions up right on the rear bumper of Taylor Hull to close it off with an impressive outside zone 4. So good way to get some back there is Kazuya Taguchi. Uh-oh, we see Taylor Hull.
Yeah, calling his comp timeout. His turn 14 distribution, Subaru BRZ. Forsberg on Nexans, and Daijiro on the Falcon variety. Clean start, no cones hit. Boys. All right, there. Oh! Dai Yoshihara, hard hit.
Holy smokes.
Dai Yoshihara rolls down as Chris Forsberg will continue through the course as long as he continues. Kind of laying out here, want to make sure that Daijiro's okay. That was a hard hit, Ryan. I don't think there was any contact. Just want to make sure that Dai's okay. That was a really hard hit.
Well, we got some movement in the vehicle there. Let's see if we can get a thumbs up. That, as you said,
he's
Jared,
on the right-hand side.
that was a really tough hit. And you can see the whole front end is collapsed there. It was a very aggressive initiation. It happened so quickly. When I first kind of yelled out, it was because I thought he was really going for it on his chase run in the initiation. He does look like he's doing okay in there. But that was a nasty hit. Let's see what happened, Jared. Let's go back and take a look at this.
And Ryan, this reminds me of, unfortunately, I hate to
many
bring it up.
years ago.
Yeah, Dai Yoshihara totaled a car here before. He initiated L and it just kept.
Looks
like a front right suspension went out or something. Like it slammed down.
It was really, really weird what happened there.
Right.
Let's see from this angle.
No. It's like weird movement.
He was really coming up close to Chris very aggressively, and I mean, certainly the front end washed out, and it may have been a broken part as soon as he tried to put the car to lock. That forced it into the wall. Now you have to imagine, you know, you've got a good many hundred of feet. I think it's a 800-foot run up, something like that. So they're not going slow.
No, and like I said, I hate to bring it up. Dai Yoshihara, back in the day, he was he's been on Falcon tires forever, and he went hard into the wall here and totaled that Lexus back in the day.
It's actually, if you want to know where that is, it's at the second standing cone.
Yep.
The second initiation point, where the bridge of that wall meets the opening. So, unfortunately, well, I don't know. You know,
5 minutes. He'll need to call a comp timeout. And,
yeah, I just worry. You know how tough of a hit that was on him. That was pretty nasty there.
Yeah, that was a hard hit. Let's take a look at it again, not to sensationalize it, and the only reason we're showing it is to see what transpired, and as well as, yeah.
Just focusing on the right front there. And he snaps it. Look at his hands. See his hands? See the wheels starting to pull out of his hands? And the back wheels? Interesting, yeah. Yeah, Ryan Lantain was saying if you take a look at the back wheels on that, they were not spinning, so it looks like he may have...
They weren't drifting. It wasn't breaking traction.
Yeah, lost power or something like that, and it just gripped up and went right into the wall.
Well, look, Dai's got good spirits. You can see him, Larry Chen, taking some photos, so... I don't know if he's going to be able to. I'm just going to say it. A time battle was too close to call between the judges, 2-1. And here we go. Clean start. Taguchi initiates quickly with angle, gets high on the bank. Taylor Hull drops down a little bit. Taguchi looking very settled compared to early. Whoa, Taguchi! Look at the attitude of that car, Ryan. He really grips up, pops a wheelie with those GT radials, and slides on into that front clip like Taylor Hull's line on his first oh, and Taguchi loops it. Wow. Interesting turn of events there. I don't think that was contact. Taguchi just pushed too hard and rotated Ryan.
And up until that point, if that is what happened, it was a pretty phenomenal lead run. I mean, an aggressive driving lap there for Kazuya Taguchi. You can see up on the big bank, starts to pull ahead a little bit of Taylor Hull. Massive angle off the bank, coming down into outside zone 2. Great job there. On to 3. Look at that, super deep. Taylor Hull has to angle up.
Yeah, he parks up too.
And then right here on this final section, goes into outside zone 4. Oh man.
Yeah, that was.
It seemed like not a spin that you were expecting was going to happen. Like he didn't seem bounded up as he was going into outside zone 4. So as we take a look one more time, this is where Taylor Hull surged, did a great job of defensive driving there to not make contact with Kazuya Taguchi. And then right here, once again, just on that final, wow.
Yeah, that
was
is
crazy.
A bummer. That is a bummer for Kazuya, but Taylor Hull might have just caught a break. And just for a refresher, gonna get the side-by-side going with Taylor Hull leading and Kazuya chasing. So completing both the runs and waiting to see who wins. The winner going against Chelsea Denofa in the Grade 8. This being our final battle, the Royal Purple Top 16. And here we go. So there on the left, the BC Racing instant replay. You can see Taylor Hull out front. Good angle from him. Kazuya gaining some ground. Pops out of that smoke, almost blinded by the smoke. Into the front clip goes Taylor. Now transitioning. So no, for whatever reason, I thought that he went off course, but he did not. So that was a good run there by Taylor, and with Kazuya making that massive mistake, I believe Taylor Hull's going to get the win. Taylor out of the car, Kazuya as well. These guys. And like I said, Taylor Hull feeling the flow. Here we go, slide him left for Taylor Hull, right for Kazuya Taguchi. And it looks like Taylor Hull gets the win. Taylor Hull gets the win. His wife and spotter scream at the top of her lungs. She is feeling it. So there you go. Kazuya Taguchi knocked out that up garage S15 as Taylor Hull moves on into the Grade 8.
So here it is, Jeff Jones and Justin Pollock.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like when Justin's on, he looks really good. Seen some things from him that I'd like him just to refine a little bit, and then the spirit of Jeff Jones might just overpower that of JTP. And also, remember, if you can recall, when Lorette was talking with JTP, that contact that Justin Pollock and Field got into, hopefully he remedied that front left corner. He was seemed to be really concerned of that front left corner. So Justin Pollock will lead. Jeff Jones will give chase. And we are good to go. All right. Track is clear. Track is hot. Ready to send it for our first battle of the Link Engine Management Top 8. Justin Pollock, Falcon Tires, Roush Performance, Ford Mustang. Jeff Jones, the Doc Edelbrock, now rocking the GT radials on the corners of his 370Z. Lights are on in the middle there. Send it, here we go. Got a clean start, no cones hit. See how Justin comes out swinging. Jeff Jones in the chase position, JTP. There's Justin Pollock showing up in grand fashion. Jones a little bit lower on the bank as Justin slides it into that second outside zone through the power alley. Quick little lift, there is a decel area there. Jones, great proximity there. Right to the side of JTP and crossing the finish line, Ryan.
Yeah, glad we got a clean start there. Justin Pollock gets off to a good jump and makes it look nice on the bank. Let's see how Jones did in the chase. Falls back a little bit, but he's staying on the line of Justin Pollock. Could be a little bit more angled up there. He does it, but then he pulls some out of it. So a couple corrections there from Jones on the bank. Here's the overhead as we take a look at where Justin is coming down off the bank into outside zone number 2. Does a good job there. Jones follows him, comes up a little bit tighter. He's almost going to get pinched right here, but he makes a good defensive move to stay back and not make contact with Justin Pollock, and then pretty clean the rest of the way there. Here's that area on inside clip 1. Watch Jones surges, backs off, keeps angle in the car. Good bit of driving there from Jones, but Justin out front, laying down a pretty clean lead run there as we will switch things up.
Jeff Jones out front. Justin Pollock in the chase position. Who's moving on to the final 4? Is it going to be Jones or Pollock? All right, and Jones would love to enter into Formula Drift top 4. I believe that is the furthest he's progressed, so this would be a great victory for him, but Justin Pollock's going to try to put a stop to that as Jones initiates. Justin Pollock diving a little bit low down there. Definitely got proximity, but you can see him exceeding the front end of Jones. And now in that second outside zone, into the third, Pollock sweating Jones around that front clip and into that final outer zone goes Jones and Pollock.
Pollock almost made a critical error there towards the end, but he fixed it and made it look clean. He kept the pressure on from the get-go and was pretty close to Jones through the entirety of the course. As you said, he was on a tighter line there, focusing more on proximity than line. He tries to start getting back in line right around here as they leave outside zone 1, go into 2. Great job by Jones. Pollock follows him. Jones pushing really tight on that inside clip, and then watch Pollock right here. He's going to dive in, angle up so he doesn't make contact. He does pull off that line a little bit there for a second. And here's a closer look at the bank. You get to kind of see what Jones is doing up top. He's consistent there. Pollock really good on proximity, but making a few adjustments. Was on a lower line for just a moment there, but Jones beautifully done through that second outside zone. And Pollock really tight right here as Jones came off that zone a little bit early, wanted to get to that inside clip. And then right there, Pollock angles up and pushes through the finish line right on the tail end of Jeff Jones.
Yeah, that could have been really bad for Justin Pollock, and like you said, Ryan, that was a good eye there. Taking a look at the replay, and it was really apparent via the drone. I think there's a horsepower difference here and you can see that with Justin. He was just holding back here. Here's the BC Racing side by side. So Justin in the lead on the left and Jeff in the lead on the right.
Yeah, you can see noticeable difference in proximity there. Jones had that little adjustment in angle when he was a bit behind in the chase run. Now the judges are going to be focusing on those second and third outside zones. The inside clip area, we saw both drivers tighten up. There's a compression point there. That's where Jones had his pretty good bit of defensive driving, and for Justin, his was right at the beginning of outside zone number 4. So both runs digested and scores ready to drop.
All right, waiting for the verdict here between Pollock and Jones. Here we go, slide him left for Jones, right for Pollock. And there you go, Chris Ewell says JTP. Ryan Lontaine does as well. And there you go, JTP, Justin Pollock gets the victory. Into the wall, you saw him fix the suspension. Looks like Dean's gonna warm up his Achilles too. Dean swapping engines, had the power steering belt, all of these things, right? I think that Ryan Tuerck's really gonna go for it. I think Dean's gonna chase him down. I think he might get too aggressive, to be quite honest. He's chomping at the bit. He wants to throw down. And then when they alternate, I think that Tuerck he's gonna be clean here. I think he's feeling really confident. And Dean, taking a different approach. Talking with him last night, he says, "Man, I'm just gonna kick back, just do things a little different." So I'm excited to see this one. Just beating both these guys' heads. Here we go. Ryan Tuerck out front. That come out Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla hatchback. Here we go. Ryan Tuerck. Oh, and a big correction there, and that is going to be, I believe, an incomplete, unfortunately for Dean Kearney. And Ryan Tuerck continues on pace through the second and third outside zone in the power alley. As long as Ryan Tuerck continues on through the course, he will have a major advantage here, Ryan. That is very unfortunate turn of events there for Dean Kearney as he straightens out, and I believe unofficially that will be an incomplete.
Yeah, it's almost over before it starts.
Right.
You know, typically if we see incompletes, you know, they can happen anywhere, but that was very early on. It happened right after initiation, and you can see a real slowing of the vehicle there. He is able to get it back going again, but I have to assume that that is going to be too long of straight driving for a judge to deem acceptable. Now, Tuerck, as you mentioned, Jared, does need to finish the rest of the run, and we still want to pay attention to his lead run, but you can see outside zones 2 and 3 were good for him. They're pretty solid. Wrapping back around here, because, you know, if the off chance Ryan Tuerck does incomplete in his chase run, which would need to happen to force a one more time, we would be looking at those lead runs and comparing those two to find out who would win in that hypothetical scenario. But we still have this second half yet to go.
Yeah, and Dean can't call a comp timeout if there was any issue or anything like that. So, oh boy. So yeah, as Dean Kearney pulls to the line, Ryan Tuerck getting settled, throwing the cameras on. Who's going to go against JTP? Ryan Tuerck or Dean Kearney? Right now, Ryan Tuerck. All right, so getting some words with Dean's spotter, Scott. Now, Ryan, I think strategy is going to be played here. Kick back, save the car, be cool, not an unactive chase, keep it clean, keep it off the walls, don't get nuts. And here we go. Dean Kearney out front, Ryan Tuerck chasing. Dean initiates, Ryan Tuerck right there, a couple car distances back. Dean Kearney, much larger contrast here, and oh, we got contact. And Dean shut down again. Gremlins showing up here in Seattle for Dean Kearney. Bummer. Did they have contact or did he save it?
No, I think there was some contact there. And if it was indeed what we heard called out in the room here, saying Dean shut down, that's definitely a scary moment for Tuerck. You don't want to lose anything on the vehicle that would prevent you from doing competition in a later round. But let's get some certainty here and find out what transpired there. Midway through the bank, here it is from top. Let's watch the smoke line on Dean's car. If it does shut down, we'll notice that right out of the gate. Oh yeah. Yep. It comes off for at least a half a beat. So we won't need to charge fault, but because it's the second run, but we will need to make it official here. And if I'm remembering correctly, Ryan Tuerck does not have a competition timeout. Did he use his?
No,
Tuerck has not used. He's not used his. Okay, so he's okay.
He won't need to use it. Obviously, we got 2 more battles, or actually, we'll have 2 more battles before going to the final 4. So let's make it official. Slide him left for Ryan Tuerck, right for Dean Kearney, and there you have it. Ryan Tuerck gets the win. He'll be going against JTP in the final 4. It is unanimous, unfortunately. Dean Kearney, like I said, Gremlin's just all over the place. You could see him getting out of the car. Sorry, bro, just having issues. You could see him wrapping out there. Is on one. Remember, he won round 2 in St. Louis. Vaughn got the win yesterday. They know how to get it done. They definitely have the formula. Can he deliver here, getting past Taylor Hull? And if denofa wins here, Gittin versus Forsberg, we could have Gittin and denofa going against each other in the final 4. Chelsea quickly getting right to angle there. Nice job by denofa. Taylor Hull kicking back a little bit here. See a quick little yank of the handbrake. Hank of the handbrake, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Into that final outside zone by Chelsea, and Taylor Hull kicking back there. The Hank of the handbrake, Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Just want to make sure.
That's a new one.
Is that what Eve Meyer does?
Chelsea denofa, your lead driver, out first. Let's take a look here as he's pretty decent on the bank. As he came by the camera that's mounted on the fence, you can see he was probably about 6 to 8 inches off, but Taylor Hull driving through the smoke line, trying to chase him down, coming through the center section here, diving in as denofa gets outside zone 3. Here comes Hull on the inside clip, shooting back around one last time. Little e-brake pull there for denofa in the decel zone, and then through the finish line they come 1 and 2. Switching things up now, Taylor Hull can try to find some improvements on his lead run comparable to Chelsea denofa. And look at this, Jared. Ryan Tuerck getting a little work done here.
Well, look at that door bashed in, man. That thing, car's taking a beating here at this event. Yeah, look at that.
No, yesterday the other one was tightly slider.
Did I say that?
No, me.
Oh, yeah. Tightly slider. Oh, tightly slider. Yeah. Got it. Got it. Slightly tighter. Got it. That's funny. All right, here we go. Let's alternate the order. Taylor Hull out front. Chelsea denofa. Got to chase him down, shoving that gold nose in the back or side of that ATSB. Look at that, Taylor. Keeping it consistent. Chelsea definitely needs to be a little higher on that bank. Good proximity here, coming out of the power alley. Watch this thing grip up. Taylor knows he needs to throw down, bringing it all the way through the power alley. Taylor Hull's not backing down at all. Whoa, buddy, look at that. Woo! That looks precarious, but it delivered. Absolutely sick transition there, going into that final outside zone, Ryan. I can just watch that. Like, can somebody make a boomerang video of that, and just so we can watch it on replay? Here you go.
Well, let's see how Taylor Hull did on the bank. It looked like at the beginning he had a little bit of a higher line compared to Chelsea on his lead, but it looked pretty similar from this view here. You can see denofa was surging, trying to find ground on outside zone 3. Hull comes up a little bit short. Denofa looking for an area to attack, comes in, throws big angle in the car, stays in the pocket right there, and great execution to outside zone 4.
That was gangster.
From the crow's nest here, we see a good vantage point of what denofa's doing in the chase, making a couple little adjustments there, but I think the fireworks really coming outside zone 4, and the question is, will that be enough, or did Taylor Hull have enough in his lead in his chase to potentially force a one more time here? It's hard to say. It was a good back and forth, couple mistakes from both drivers. We didn't see that door-to-door action until that last corner there, and results quickly coming in.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great effort by Taylor Hull, but Chelsea Denofa just a little bit more dominant, and it is unanimous. Chelsea Denofa gets the win. Forsberg and his NOS energy drink. Nissan 370Z, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Monster Energy, Window Tire, Ford Performance, RTR. Leaving the start line, here we go. Who's going against Denofa in the final four? Forsberg initiates. High on the bank. Forsberg ripping. Vaughn Gittin Jr. dipping down a little bit low. Oh, very low. Almost exceeding all of Chris Forsberg's Nissan into that third outside zone. Oh, wow, Vaughn Gittin Jr. lunges to the side. Barely just backs off as Chris Forsberg brings it across that final outside zone. Great battle, these guys. Great friends off the track, but you know what? The gloves are on in this case. Ryan, a great run there. Vaughn Gittin Jr., does he have enough? Because that was really interesting how low he was on the bank.
Well, there's a door open here for Chris Forsberg, especially if you're spotter, what you're saying to him in his ear. You can see Vaughn is surging there. He's managing the grip levels of Chris as he gets through outside zone number 1. Here it is once again, the big bank, large right-hand sweeper. And you can see, as you said, Jared, comes down a little bit lower. He's trying to manage the vehicle, big e-brake pull as Chris comes off the decel zone into outside zone 2 and 3. Surging forward is Vaughn, and then three-wheel motion has to make another adjustment as they get just to that second hash mark of inside clip number 1. And then the final outside zone there, smoked out, but here it is from above. Vaughn surging, has to get on the brakes there not to make contact with Chris. And then the last transition here, Forsberg gets in the outside zone, Vaughn follows him, and that was a good, clean setup there to the final outside zone. But some openings here as Chris Forsberg will now go do the chase, and Vaughn Gittin Jr., yesterday's event winner, goes to the lead for a berth into the final four. The person that wins here guarantee can fight for at least a podium. So this is a very important matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Vaughn got that win yesterday. Chris has not podiumed yet this season. He'd like to get up there. Here we go. Vaughn Gittin Jr. initiates. Chris Forsberg backing down quite a bit now. Vaughn, that thing is gripping up. Grip it and rip it. Vaughn Gittin Jr. flying through that power alley. Chris Forsberg doesn't make it to the outside zones. Now he gets that proximity. This is where he's going to shine here. Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Chris rolling through. Holy cow. Woo! Ooh. I think he was avoiding him, actually. Vaughn coming down and Chris going off course here.
We saw that last year, too. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
We see it every year, man. Every year. So Vaughn hitting that jump. Interesting, Ryan. That thing has so much grip. We're talking about Vaughn's vehicle here.
Yeah, I thought Forsberg had a big opportunity to really show a point of difference on the bank, and he kind of left a little bit to be desired in chasing down Vaughn. Could have tried to get that proximity closer and stick with it. Vaughn making a mistake on inside clip number 1. This time Chris tucks up on the inside, really close on proximity here, nearly coming across side by side. But you can see a little point of separation here. Now, I'm wondering in my mind, maybe are the banks even? And really, we're talking about a comparison of the inner parts of the inside track here as Chris is surging forward, attacking Vaughn pretty strongly here, coming through the smoke line, tucking up on the inside. Vaughn getting into that outside zone, just tapping that cone before he enters. So how close is this, Jared? What are the judges thinking?
Yeah, it's very close, man. Really, really exciting to watch as we are seeing Vaughn and Forsberg waiting for the outcome here. Who's going against denofa? Here is the BC Racing side by side instant replay.
Yeah, you can see Vaughn started off in greater proximity and kind of moved down. He made a couple mistakes there. Chris lesser proximity and started to move up. So we're seeing some points of difference. Vaughn made another mistake there from outside zone 3. And Chris was a bit more consistent, I think, on the inside portion of the track. But, man, it certainly is close here. Both drivers were just absolutely going bonkers on that one. And as we see a beautiful shot of both cars from above, this is going to be a tough one to call. 2
champions, 2 FD OGs, day 1 04, still just competing, progressing. As, again, it just comes down to where the judges weigh heavily on? You know, is it the bank? Is it the outside zones? Is it proximity?
This one, certainly, no matter what the result is, let's see if we can get Ryan in just to give us some analysis. So if we can get the mic open for Ryan Lantain, we'll definitely want to talk to him, seeing how these results come in and play out.
I know Lantain has submitted his result here. So slide him left for Vaughn Gittin Jr. We got Chris Ewell saying one more time, Ryan Lantain saying Vaughn Gittin Jr., and Brian Eggert saying one more time. They're going at it again. Ryan, yeah, you're shaking your head yes, even though you sided with Vaughn Gittin Jr. What's up?
Yeah, I can see the one more time call.
You're seeing a lot of not attrition, right?
Well, I mean, I think if we look at this battle in particular, you have two veteran drivers, two champions, and you have to expect that whatever they felt was a good takeaway from that first battle, going to make those changes here in number 2. Is that a little bit more grip for Chris on the big bank?
Right.
You know, what does Vaughn's team need to adjust here? You have to imagine we're going to see something better here in the one more time.
Again, keep using the word. A little more refinement. Here we go. Forsberg out front. Vaughn Gittin Jr. in chase position. Chris with a massive early initiation. There's Vaughn with that great proximity. We saw from him earlier. And Vaughn Gittin Jr. falls down a little bit here on the bank. Ryan Lantain hooting and hollering here. And look at this, into that third outside zone. Vaughn Gittin Jr. right there on the door of Forsberg. Transitioning down in that last outer zone. Filling it. Goes Forsberg. Vaughn just a little bit short, but Vaughn Gittin Jr. with amazing proximity all the way through. Some wavering on the bank from Vaughn Gittin Jr., but I really liked what he did in that power rally going to that front clip.
You can see why this track is so hard on vehicles. They're pushing extremely hard, especially up on the big bank. That's where you said you had that little bit adjustment from Vaughn. Took some angle out of the car, surged down forward. Let's take a look at Chris on outside zone 2. Right at the edge, outside zone 3, fills it completely. Vaughn, door to door right there, maybe a foot difference, and then a good transition back around. Chris filling that final outside zone. So Chris, once again, does a pretty good job on the infield. Oh, you see he had a little slide there himself. Yep. Actually in the lead position with the front 2 wheels. And now as you see Vaughn come through the smoke line here, he's going to tuck up on the inside. Now wrapping through that inside clip, good transition back around, and then moving out to that final outside zone. So it looks like both drivers made some adjustments there. We saw a couple mistakes. The bank still kind of having a little bit of challenges with in both the lead and the chase, but the proximity, as you mentioned, Jared, was really good from Vaughn. And now Chris knows what he needs to do. Vaughn knows what he needs to do as well. It'll be communicated via spotters. Yep. And we'll have a good battle here in the second half. Yeah, Ryan, and you and I were, and Lantain, we were talking up here, and it really comes down to, I think that Forsberg needs to trust fall into Vaughn Gittin Jr. Basically, when I say that, he needs to trust that he's going to hit the line and you got to risk it. That was kind of like what Daijiro Yoshihara did with Chris Forsberg. He knows Vaughn's got a really powerful car and he could pull away from him. I would say that he kept the same distance, he kept the pace, but he needs to get that proximity on the bank. Yeah, maybe some adjustments on on grip and trying to get closer, make that take that Daijiro Yoshihara risk and just go for it to get right on that back bumper. But don't end up like Daijiro Yoshihara in his vehicle, unfortunately. So here we go. Looks like we got a clean start. Vaughn Gittin Jr. will lead Chris Forsberg giving chase. And here we go. Let's see if Chris Forsberg and his spotter got some notes. And there you go. So you can see Vaughn pulling away. Not too bad, not as bad. And look at Forsberg riding high on the bank. Not a lot of proximity, but again, holding that pace into the power rally, gets that second outer zone, into the third. Vaughn Gittin Jr., and there's that proximity there, transitioning now into that last outside zone. Vaughn slides it in, and Chris Forsberg in tow. Ryan, another one, really splitting hairs. No contact was made. Decent on the bank. Moments of greatness here and there. Overall, I guarantee we're going to see a BC Racing side-by-side replay. Well, the bank has such visual magnitude, and Chris did get a better jump this time. He fell back a little bit. He doesn't necessarily have the proximity that Vaughn had. How did Vaughn do in his lead? Well, he had a pretty nice high line there, got an early initiation. You can see Chris diving in there. Chris is actually on a higher line for a second, but now he's following him on the correct line here. He dips down a little bit as they start leaving the bank. Vaughn, right at the edge, gets out into outside zone 2 and 3. Fills it. Chris coming through the inside, tight right there through the inside clip, through the smoke line, last turn, and then really deep into outside zone number 4. Now, remember, Chris had that little sliding of the wheels coming off the bank in his lead position. Did Vaughn make any mistakes that you could say, hey, he lost the battle of the leads? That's one of the questions that we'll
But
definitely want to
Vaughn
have
was
answered.
a lot lower. He did have that proximity, but he was a lot lower in that chase position. I think they're.
I'm thinking about the comparison of the leads.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I got you. I know what you're saying. Lead versus lead, chase versus chase.
Let's bring in Ryan Lantain. Tell us what you think here, bud.
Lead to lead, you see Chris tapping the wall on his lead run. You can see he has a bit of a bobble there. And then as you were saying, coming off the bank, he has a correction right there as well. Vaughn is set in angle all the way around outside zone 1, and he doesn't have that correction. I think Vaughn was deeper in zone 2. Did an equal job, I think, in zone 3, and then really deep in zone 4. So lead to lead, it looks like Vaughn may have a bit of an advantage in my eyes. Chase to chase, it's pretty close. I think Vaughn was a little bit closer maybe on his chase on outside zone 1. Level of difficulty outside zone 1 is where it's at. If you can stay close up there, matching the line, that is a pretty big advantage in my eyes.
All right, so again, this was a close one, though. Again, one more time, both these guys, I mean, definitely deserving of being here in the Great 8, but who moves on to the Final 4 to go against Chelsea Denofa? Is it going to be an RTR battle, or is it going to be, again, these guys that we saw in St. Louis? Are we going to see the rivalry of Denofa and Forsberg? All right, so okay, and waiting for the judges inputting them. Great shot there of these iconic vehicles, legends of the sport, champions of the sport, very deserving, but only one driver could advance on to the Final 4. Already in, like we said, JTP, Ryan Tuerck, Chelsea Denofa. Denofa won the round 2 in St. Louis. Vaughn Gittin Jr. won yesterday. Here we go. Slide him left for Vaughn Gittin Jr., right for Chris Forsberg. And there you go, Vaughn Gittin Jr. Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win and advances on unanimously. Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win, and Chris Forsberg. And here we go, Ryan Tuerck. Definitely putting in a lot of hours, a lot of turning. Ryan Tuerck will lead Justin Pollock, giving chase. And away they go. The lights extinguish, and it's go time. First battle of the Final 4. Ryan Tuerck leads, initiates, into the bank. Justin Pollock, nice and tight. Look at this, we got a battle here. Ryan Tuerck high on the bank. Justin with great proximity. Coming off the bank into the power alley. Can't even see Justin Pollock through that Nitto tire smoke. Going off muscle memory at that point. Now into that final outside zone. Both of them massaging it in. Well done by Ryan Tuerck out front, and Justin could not be shaken.
Well, a bunch of hardworking guys making their way to the Final 4 here. We've seen a lot of carnage today. Look at Pollock towing up the rear end, getting close to Ryan Tuerck as they make their way midway through the bank. But Tuerck nice and high on the bank, leaving his mark here against Justin Pollock. But Pollock surging forward, keeping it close here as we move down into outside zone number 2. Here we go, the exit off the bank. Heading down, Tuerck just at the edge of it. In outside zone 3, it looks like he was on the edge as well. Pollock transitions from inside clip number 1 to outside zone 4, following Tuerck, and you can see the shadows really playing an effect with the drivers here. You have to wonder how that experience is for them, going from that to that. And there's Ryan Tuerck filling outside zone 4, but Pollock cannot be shaken in that chase position.
All right, crossing the finish line, back to the start. Ryan Tuerck, newly married just last weekend. Congrats to him and his new wife, Shannon. And JTP now leading. JTP, Justin Pollock. Out front, Falcon tires, gonna be thrown in the face of Ryan Tuerck. What do you got? JTP initiates, pulling away from Tuerck. And look at the power that JTP is putting down. Really well executed there by Justin Pollock. Into that second outer zone. Whoa, Ryan Tuerck lunges to the side. Nice job by Ryan Tuerck. Keeping that composure, but man, Ryan, really great battle here. Love this course. I mean, they are going for it.
Yeah, it seems like at first pass, Tuerck didn't really have much for Pollock on the bank, which is a surprise. You have to wonder what kind of happened there. Let's take a look at the line of Pollock. Let's just see how deep he was into outside zone number 1. Both drivers almost side by side. Tuerck tucks in on the backside, giving Pollock free rein to initiate. Pollock starts to move his way up, but yeah, he is a little bit down lower on the bank. Not all the way up, but Tuerck was having a tough time keeping up either way, and that is the responsibility of that chase driver to go wherever the lead driver goes. Now as we leave inside clip 1, Tuerck transitions, falls back for a second, and gives a little bit more to Pollock as they come through the finish line there. So do the judges have enough here to put that scale on one side or the other? And Ryan, why don't you join us here on the comms as we go to the side-by-side and give us a little insight here about what transpired between that Corolla and the Mustang.
The lead run from JTP looks like it's really strong, and the proximity from JTP in the chase is really strong. So Ryan's definitely losing out on proximity on outside zone 1. I think they were both slightly off of outside zone 1. And looking at the rest of the run, you can see kind of an exchange of proximity. Got close, got far.
Yeah.
They kind of traded off back and forth.
All right, so Ryan Tuerck waiting, Justin Pollock as well. I know the race service boys are watching. What's up, Yair? Jacob, Andy, Kirkham, I know they're watching back in LA. Justin Pollock and his wife and son, Jackson. Here we go. Slide him left for Justin Pollock. Chris says JTP, as is Ryan Lontaine. And it looks like Ryan Tuerck is knocked out. Justin Pollock gets the win. Be fun, Ryan. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah.
No, I was just going to say in terms of the championship, because we were talking about that, denofa has a little bit more to lose here than Gittin, being that denofa's up on points. But huge opportunity for Gittin to kind of equalize everything. He could step to the final battle here and really capture some championship points in his favor.
I can't recall how many times they've gone against each other, but I know denofa has taken out the boss before. Here we go, denofa initiating the gold nose versus the chrome nose. Oh, both of them go into the wall. Oh, denofa. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think it was denofa first. Oh.
Holy cow.
He smartly moves off the course, which is a good move by him. But we're certainly going to want to take a look at that. What I saw, it happened so quickly, and we panned away for a second, but the initiation from denofa looked like it caused him to understeer, and then he went up into the wall. Here we go.
Yeah, look at this again.
This is from the drone. We won't be able to see the tires from this exactly, but you will just be able to see the car kind of go into the wall. So the action that we're going to want to see is going to come from this shot here. Here is the initiation from denofa. Ryan, if you would join us. Yeah, the back bumper. Oh, wow.
Both of them, independent.
That was pretty much simultaneous.
Yeah, simultaneously.
Yeah, Gittin's trying to follow Chelsea where he's going, of course, and then Chelsea ends up getting air right here. I think, the front end lifts off the ground when it hits the wall there.
So Ryan, in that case, I mean, Gittin is within proximity, right?
Yeah.
Denofa is dictating the line. Is that, in your mind, a denofa fault?
The lead car is setting the pace, and the chase car is following that lead car. And when you're in that situation at that speed, you're hyper-focused on the lead car, expecting them to stay on track, obviously. And it's hard to tell exactly where you are in respect to everything else that's going on the track. So in that case, I would have to say that Chelsea would be responsible for that. Vaughn's just doing his best to stay in proximity, and he was in proximity. He was pretty close, and you could see they pretty much hit maybe a split second apart or almost at the same time.
And this is a situation where you guys do need to declare that, even though that there wasn't vehicle-to-vehicle collision. Right. Somebody's going to have to repair their vehicle. Somebody's going to have to use a competition timeout.
Yeah. And, the judges could look at it, the other guys, and they could say that's just an independent crash. They both independently hit the wall on their own, and they would both need to call a competition timeout to fix their cars, and that's totally possible as well. And it's not outside of the realm of believability, if you will.
No, it's not far-fetched.
No, it's not. They're both driving really hard out there and doing their best, and it could have just been simply an independent, but it happened exactly I think, at the same time. So
Yeah, and your assessment,
I cannot believe he's driving this thing right now after that.
What the heck?
He rode around half that bank. That's incredible.
See any liquids?
That is a tank.
No, I don't see any liquids.
Just the
car
wheels.
looks fine. Denofa won at round 2. These guys have tasted carbon, meaning the carbon fiber trophies. Who's coming out on top? Here we go. Let's send it. Seattle. The Monroe Monster talking about that wall. It's eaten a lot of vehicles, including Chelsea Denofa's Gold Nose Ford Mustang. Going right into it. Chelsea Denofa slams it down. Ryan Tuerck right there. Ryan Tuerck some shimming there in the chase position. Keeps that proximity massive. Oh, we got no tire on that front left. Chelsea Denofa has no tire on that front left. That is an incomplete there. And
that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap, son. So Ryan Tuerck will get 3rd place because he doesn't have a competition timeout. The tire debeated. So unfortunately, all that for nothing, Ryan.
Well, I was going to say Ryan Tuerck is the last standing wall between the invasion of the Mustangs breaking down and getting all 3 podium spots. And that has come to a stop right there. He has stopped Chelsea Denofa, and it happened right here coming off the bank. Looks like Denofa debeats a tire somewhere around here, and he is not able to change that. He has no competition timeout, and changing tires between runs is not allowed anyways unless you hit a wall or there's a contact between a driver where both drivers would get an opportunity to change their tires or their rears. And that did not happen here, so that is game over.
Ready?
Ryan Tuerck is going to stand on top of the podium in 3rd place.
You saw the tire just go thunk and just get sucked in, and there it reseats right there. Watch it, Ryan. Watch that front left here on the bank.
I was actually looking at the monitor.
Oh, okay, you were. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot you had a screen over there, bud. But Ryan. Hey, right here.
You see me, I pretty much sit here the entire time. I have a
Ryan, I just didn't.
Nah.
All right, so with that, Ryan Tuerck will get 3rd place. All right, this is essentially his bye run, a celebratory lap for the Gum Out Toyota Racing Toyota Corolla hatchback. Mobile 1 running through the veins on Nitto tires. Rotiform wheels wrapped with those Nittos. Race service, here you go. You're getting a trophy coming your way. And Ryan Tuerck locking up that front wheel. He is hammering down. Again, celebrating his wedding last weekend in Maine to his lovely wife, Shannon. And now he's bringing home some more trophies. And there we go, bringing it all the way home. Hammering down. Man, it seems like he had a little secret sauce in there on that run right there. He knows who he was going against, right? So you got to think that they plugged in the computer and turned her up a little bit, maybe. So Ryan Tuerck, 3rd place here at round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Finals are set. And Mustang is guaranteed to win.
Gittin could go from, I think he was in 13th.
Yeah.
Got up to 4th or 5th.
Yeah, 5th, I believe.
Could potentially even jump another couple spots.
Yep. Here we go. JTP Von Gittin Jr. Who's coming out on top? Justin Pollock. And he says, I think 2012, right? So that just shows you it's been a while. Let's send it here in Seattle. The battle in Seattle, the final battle. Going up against not only the other driver, but the big Monroe Monster wall. JTP initiates, Von Gittin Jr. right there, back at it again. JTP high on the wall as Von Gittin Jr. Really good proximity, really tight, coming into the power alley, into that second outside zone.
Oh no!
As JTP almost overshoots.
Pass.
And Von Gittin Jr. go for the pass. Contact is made.
No!
Shots are fired. It is a Mustang Stampede.
Oh.
Woo! Look at
boy.
these guys. Oh,
man.
Did we just institute and bring back the rivalry, boys?
They re-engaged.
Oh, boy. We got a conscious coupling right now. Oh, man.
I had flashbacks of Macquarie, remember the wall? This is the last time we had
and
the
Vaughn
wall here.
both of them have a comp timeout, FYI.
Oh, man. Well, this is going to be,
Wow.
this is probably going to be really tough to deal with, but it's really Pollock that starts this off, right? He throws huge
That's
angle,
that flick.
way overshoots inside clip number 1. Vaughn kind of sees the opening there. He gets it, but Pollock comes back. So Ryan, I mean, obviously, Vaughn, I don't know if he was really going for the pass, but he kind of got in front of Justin after the inside clip, and then really the contact happened before outside zone 4. So walk us through what you're looking at here.
A pass can only occur at an inside clip, and you can see here, you can see the little thought bubble in Vaughn's head, because you can see right there when he floors it and decides he's going to go for the pass, but then JTP doesn't want to give him the room.
Right.
Now, the pass has to occur at an inside clip, and that lead driver has to be so far offline that the chase car can get by cleanly, and clearly that did not happen here. We always say that the lead car that is being passed has to be given room if they do come back online, and Vaughn here, I hate to say it, but it looks like he got himself into a situation where he probably shouldn't be. And you can see the moment right here.
Watch how far Justin is out. And Ryan saw it. He's like, oh no,
absolutely.
that flick. But look how wide Justin is.
That all Vaughn had to do was stay behind him there, and Justin would have been held responsible for that. But
well, what's he supposed to do there? That's a question. What's Vaughn supposed to do there? Because it looks like
he could have lost drift. He could have lost angle.
yeah, well, Vaughn in that situation is meant to mimic the lead driver. The lead driver, if they do something that impedes the chase driver's ability to keep going, that's what we refer to as an unchaseable lead run. And the chase car does not have to pass. We always say that in the briefings. The chase car is not obliged to pass. They don't have to attempt the pass. Vaughn could have stayed behind him there. We would have said that's probably an incomplete from Justin because it's unchaseable, you know, if Vaughn had straightened up. That was a pretty serious stall in an area that's not a decel, but Vaughn took the chance. Vaughn took that opportunity.
Well, when does the chase driver become the lead in a clean pass? Because it's past the point of the inside clip, right? It was on the transition back around. So was he still the chase driver even though he was in front of him?
I don't know. Did Vaughn really get ahead of Justin? Looking at when Justin transitioned,
I don't know.
He hit the front of Vaughn's car.
I'm asking questions because I'm also confused as well. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying.
Replay.
Yeah, we're going to want to see a few replays.
Yeah,
this
we're
is
going to see a replay of this again because we want to really see what, you know, we've been talking through it, and these are things that we don't often see happen. You know, people don't go for the pass very often, but you can see
once in a blue moon.
JTP has some serious damage there on his car.
He's smiling though, which is good.
Yeah,
he was laughing.
Yeah. This is one of those situations. We're in the finals. It's two Mustangs that have a, you know, Mustangs have a, let's say, a reputation for running over crowds, but it looks like they ran into each other this time. So. Yeah,
but again, to Ryan's point, and we're, again, really dissecting this, and we're going to pull up some replays here. Like you said, he didn't have to go for the pass, but he was way offline. Justin, and you saw him do his Justin Pollock flick, right, which he's kind of known for, but he swung wide, and if Vaughn paused, I think he would have lost drift, and he would have straightened out.
That's totally fine.
Ryan's saying that's okay.
Yeah, we would have looked at the lead's mistake. Because he went way offline here. Vaughn, you could tell Vaughn hesitated for a second. If you can watch the hesitation, and then it's like, ding, I should go right here.
The question is,
and now watch, floor, and then he tries to go. He does get ahead.
See, I think, it's so close, right? Because there's really no...
Justin's way off.
There's really no time for Justin to say, oh, now I'm in the chase driver, let me tuck behind. But at the same time, you know, Vaughn is... I don't know. He looks like he's pretty far ahead here. Like he's a car length. He's got his rear wheels in front of the vehicle, right? Or right at the front wheels of JTP. So this is. You're shaking your head like, I know that this is going to be hard, and yes, it is. This is very difficult because it wasn't a quote-unquote clean pass. However, it was Vaughn really being out front of JTP in a way that we maybe see pretty much never.
Yeah, this is one of those moves that you.
Oh yeah, I see his hesitation there.
Yeah, there was a hesitation from Vaughn, and maybe he should have.
But you saw Pollock too, like not today.
Of
you
course.
saw him power up.
Pollock knows he's going to lose automatically if he gets passed.
There you go.
Right. That's the
that's
bottom
the conundrum.
line.
Right. So they're both like hold, go. Right. Vaughn did it, and then Justin did it.
Vaughn knows if he makes a clean pass, he gets the automatic win for that run. Pollock knows if he gets passed, he automatically loses that run. So they both have a lot on the line there, in terms of who's going to try to make the pass and who's going to defend the pass.
All right. Well,
And-
what needs to be done here is we haven't dictated fault.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, quit talking. Figure it out.
All right.
Well, that's the reason why nobody's touching the car,
Right.
right? Because they haven't done that. And I think hopefully we've given it.
No one's touched the car. We haven't officially said who is at fault because once we've assessed fault, truth be told, whoever is at fault only gets a competition timeout. Yeah, Justin's watching replays here. He's watching us. He's watching the production. What?
I
What do you
don't
got?
think there's a right answer here, a capital R right, and meaning one that everybody that
Yeah.
is going to agree with.
Yep. All right, I can see Lorette down there. We're talking with Justin. He's smiling. He's smirking. Lorette, you got Justin there?
Well, JTP has the 10 minutes, so it looks like Vaughn was deemed at fault. And Justin, I just asked you, it looked like Vaughn was about to pass you, and what did you say?
Not today. No, I mean, I was offline. I think he obviously went for the pass, but I don't know. I wasn't gonna let him pass me. I wasn't like ready to give up my lead spot yet. I made a mistake. I think he made a mistake. Collision happened. They deemed it his fault. You know, it's definitely a bummer. I didn't want to get in a collision. You never want to like be in that situation. We've been running clean runs all weekend. But at least we get 10 minutes to like put this thing back together, and hopefully we can have a really good final run.
Did you lose power? Did you lose drift? Were you just
I
too?
think we got this thing so turned up. Vaughn's super fast. We've been really fast. We turned it up some more. I'm just driving extra hard, and I pushed through that outer zone 2 or outer zone 3. Yeah, I got a little overzealous with it, and obviously he saw that opportunity to pass because the only place you can pass is on an inner clip. So he saw that opportunity, but he didn't make the clean pass because I closed the door on him. So that's what happened. You know, the judges saw it that way as well. My guys are getting the car back together. We'll get it fixed, and we'll have one hell of a final run.
Is the wheel broken?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the wheel, upper, or the camber link and the toe link on the rear end, but we got spares. So we'll get it back together, and we'll get it as straight as possible, and go out there and get after it.
Good luck, Justin. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Lorette.
Oh, boy.
Thank you very much, Lorette, and thank you, and good luck, JTP. Still, just great attitude. I love this. I think Justin's like, sweet, I'm in the finals. But to give more clarification, I'm getting texts. I'm getting Vaughn's cousin texting me, Cody, saying, oh, he's way offline this. I said, rules, bro, rules. So speaking of rules, Ryan, read the rule book, if you will.
Right. We have 4 conditions for a clean pass. First, the lead driver must be offline or completely off course.
Check.
Check that one. The chase driver can only make a pass on an inside clipping point.
Check.
The chase driver can only make a pass on the inside of the lead driver.
Check.
The chase driver becomes the lead driver once the chase vehicle has fully surpassed the lead driver's vehicle.
Thoroughly surpassed.
That is the problem. Vaughn never fully surpassed him. Now, in this situation, as we said earlier, what Vaughn should have done is stuck with JTP. JTP would have been at a huge disadvantage, potentially even getting an incomplete for an unchaseable lead run. There was a hesitation from Vaughn, and we were just talking, the judges and I. Maybe Vaughn could have made that had he not hesitated.
Right.
Because there was that little hesitation, and a second can make a huge difference in any motorsport, especially a move like that. So this comes down to...
Show us the not fully surpassed part.
All right, so as we watch this part of the replay, we're going to get to the pass part. So right here, you see JTP going off, and look at Vaughn. He never fully surpasses. You can see the front of JTP's car is right around the rear. You know, the front wheel of JTP is around the rear wheel of Vaughn Gittin. So that's where the issue comes into play. We need a full surpassing of that lead car by the chase car.
Meaning the car has to completely clear the car that it's trying to pass.
Yes, that is exactly the way the rule is written there. So you can see he's never fully passed. It's pretty much front wheel to rear wheel. And then Vaughn is right there as he knows that a transition is coming from JTP, as JTP doesn't want to get past. So we've seen other people go way wide there. We saw a couple of drivers go off, actually off course there. We saw people with 2 wheels off, and the chase driver stayed behind them and made it work.
Right. Yeah. Interesting turn of events, man. Really interesting as far as what has transpired here. So we'll get these cars fixed up. As Justin says, we'll have one heck of a second half of this battle, man. Yeah, everybody's getting messages and blown up in regards to an exciting final. Ryan Tuerck, he's guaranteed third who's going to get the win? We'll find out here momentarily. And yeah, JTP way off, man. And if Vaughn just would have kicked back and said, like, all right, I'm a chill. He said, nope, I'm a head out. And he went in the side of him.
You got to respect him for trying, but he just missed by that much, you know?
Right. It's a weird mental process, right? I see an opening. I can maybe make it.
Yeah.
I'm going for it. No,
But
I can't.
If you hesitate,
I know.
that's the thing.
Yep.
You hesitate and then you go. You know, you see people jumping off a cliff, and if they just go for it, it's great. Sometimes they hesitate, and then they end up bouncing off the wall on the way down.
They end on kook slams.
It's like Robert De Niro in Heat. I will not hesitate. Not for a minute. That's the discipline.
Hoorah. Oh, man. All right, so Vaughn's already on the line. He's ready to go, but JTP, he'll swap out some parts. And Vaughn Gittin Jr. had a comp timeout. I believe he used that, obviously, making sure the car is good. JTP, he's got, you can see the corner strapped on. He's got his 10-minute allotment there for his Falcon Tire Roush Performance Ford Mustang. I was going to say, man, his car was clean. He was good. Nope, not over till the fat guy sings, this fat guy right here. So as we can see, the wheel about to go on, the raise, go back on. Jimmy riding the scooter. What up, Jim? An exciting day overall, Ryan. I mean, just it makes for some awesome competition.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. We kind of started off on a slow burn, and then it just progressively got better and better. I was looking at the clock saying, oh, you know, it'll probably be done by 5:30.
Nope.
And whenever you think that, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, so, hey, let's throw it down to Lorette Nichols. She's with the other side of this final battle.
Yeah, Jared, thank you so much. And Vaughn, we just talked to JTP, so I wanted to get your side of the story. It kind of looked like you were going for a pass but hesitated, but that's not how you feel.
Yeah, man. Or, you know, Justin just completely drove off of the yellow marks plus. So I just, you know, stayed in it, ran the proper line, and then as soon as I rotated out of zone 4, he just came and smashed me. So that's my perspective. I feel like it was a bit unsportsmanlike. I mean, it'd be one thing if I came on the inside and he hit me at interclip 1. I would say that was totally my fault. Maybe I jumped the gun, but he hit me in going into outer zone 4 where I already became the lead driver. So I'm pretty confused on the judge's call, but it is what it is. I'm happy to let another Mustang win tonight, and let's go do this last run, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right, Vaughn, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, Mr. Plow back at it again. I like it. But JTP with a little drop it like it's hot, little swing of the thing. And, yeah, I feel like this weekend is literally like gremlins. We got them wet yesterday, and they multiplied. And that's what's happening and what's really coming to life here.
Look, man, you know, rules suck, you know, but
they're meant to be broken.
But they're there for a reason. And sometimes they come out intuitively in a different way. You know, I think a lot of people are going to think that, you know, Vaughn's perspective is correct, but from a technical perspective, he's kind of wrong. He didn't fully he didn't fully surpass, and that's a necessary condition. Now, if people want to change those rules, that's fine. We can totally do that. We do that all the time if something doesn't make sense in its outcome. But you know, this has been a long-term rule, and it really doesn't happen that often, so we don't really get to see it. But you know, you can tell there from what Ryan pointed out, the vehicle never fully surpassed Justin Pollock's. And it's weird. I know people intuitively are thinking, oh, well, Justin made the mistake. How is he getting the right call here? And what Ryan was saying, and if we want to get him back on to talk about it even further, maybe the call there, you know, the move there for Vaughn is, oh, he's making such a big mistake, you kind of back off, right? But he decided to move forward with it. I probably would have too, but it would have been awesome, right? Like, when was the last time you saw a pass?
Yeah, it's been a while. Listen to the power of this run. 2 Ford Mustangs. Well, pretty exciting, pretty good. Two ponies, the Stampede, and we got a minute left here. I think Justin should put on his helmet, bro. Get in the car. They're gonna call their Oh, they are. Oh, that's true. Yeah. So, truth be told, Justin Pollock does have his competition timeout on top of this 10-minute allotment for the damage. So, he'll be all right. He'll be okay. That's why you can see just little cool, little calm. He got 10 minutes. It looks like he's going to utilize his other competition timeout, just making sure and ensuring it is all good. It looks like he says, yeah, it's fine. Here we go. All right. So Justin Pollock getting in the saddle of his pony. Ford Performance. 1, 2, and 4 with Ryan Tuerck grabbing that number 3 spot. Ryan, just overall really exciting. It's been fun, man. Thank you guys so much. I hope you've enjoyed it. Getting a lot of texts from people in regards to this finals. It's pretty nuts.
It's been a wacky, wild, crazy year. It continues to be that way, but very grateful as you are to be out here and watching these guys pretty much give it their all, right? And especially on these back-to-back weekends when there's so much vehicle attrition, no sleep, fixing stuff, going crazy, no fans out here. Everything's weird, everything's wacky, but we're out here trying to make it happen, and that is a great part about everybody coming together to try and make this sport roll through 2020. I think the probabilities of the second half of this run getting wacky are still there.
Still there.
Could potentially see something crazy, but nonetheless, it's been a great weekend.
Oh, wow. Jacking it back up. Yeah. When we come back, the conclusion, the second half of this battle, the finals. A Mustang is guaranteed to win. Which one will it be? Teal and blue or black, gray, and monster green? When we come back, Vaughn Gittin Jr., JTP, the second half of this battle, and we'll find out who wins here in Seattle. It's not the $10,000 part, it's the 50-cent part that sometimes fails and will cause you the accident. Vaughn Gittin Jr., obviously you can see every corner of that thing. He is bashed up, but I think a lot of confidence in their corner. That was his statement yesterday. Just he's being where he feels he needs to be with that vehicle. So here we go. Hopefully sending it for the last time here tonight for the weekend. The triple header coming to an end. Let's send it here at Seattle, round 4, the Formula Jet Pro Championship. Send it, fellas. And here we go, Vaughn Gittin Jr., JTP, Justin Paul. Oh, Justin Paul giving himself some room here. And I don't think it's going to be inactive chase, but, oh, wow, look at the horsepower on deck by both of these ponies. Vaughn Gittin Jr. coming in hot into that power alley.
What did I say?
JTP.
What did I say?
JTP goes 2 wheels off Ryan. Overcooks it. And Vaughn Gittin Jr., I don't know if that's enough to offset an incomplete run, but man, he almost went all the way off. 4 tires would have been incomplete, and that'd be lead versus lead, chase versus chase. The plot thickens, Ryan.
Yep, he got really close there. That
what
was,
the heck?
I told you the probabilities
Dude,
increase.
So insane.
But, Vaughn obviously blasted out of the lead position. Huge gap here. Justin finally like, oh my gosh, I got to catch up. Gets back on it here. Then that's where he goes 2 off. And we'll want to take a look at that. He completely misses outside zone 3, getting into inside clip 1 and wrapping back around. Now this looks more like a regular battle, but pretty much 75% of it was made up of Justin catching up and making some mistakes. Now the question is, did he incomplete? Now the tricky part here is that we've got a very unique situation where a chase driver made the incomplete against the lead. So we don't even really have like leads to compare if there was an incomplete from the chase. So, that's another interesting thing. That might be an argument. That might be an argument for it one more time. I don't think Justin incompleted, but obviously it was pretty not very good.
I don't know why Justin gave himself that much room. I don't know if he did that by design. It looked like
the
he
car
held
may
back.
be damaged. We don't really know.
Wow. So here it is. There goes Justin. 1, 2. Almost that 3rd tire. That front left. You saw right in the line. As JTP, again, hasn't won an event, and the quote was, I think 2012?
Well,
so I'd love to see, again, this has been a tremendous weekend, just from Pro 2, that it seems like forever ago, to yesterday, Vaughn getting the win. Osbo not making it in past 32, unfortunately, just insane. The double headers are very challenging. hats off, round of applause for all the teams, the crew, the staff. Yeah, man, you thought everybody was freaking out early. Like, phew. I mean, all the chat rooms. Yeah, everybody's saying maybe one more time. I mean, I just don't think with Vaughn going and getting that incomplete, causing the incident, 2 tires off, I don't think that offsets what's going on, Ryan. What do you got?
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
because I actually said something that was incorrect that was just pointed out to me. I think the judges are basically saying that the reason why that they needed to give fault there was because of the damage to the cars. But remember, Justin and Vaughn kept drifting.
Yeah.
There wasn't an incomplete.
That's true.
By either the drivers. So we have 2 full passes now. Right now, obviously, Vaughn is going to be at a big disadvantage because of what happened there and making the mistakes. But now it comes down to weighing the mistakes. It's not.
Yeah, and you did say that incorrectly. Yes, yeah. I heard one of the judges say my brain is fried.
Yeah.
it's just a lot because and this is like you said. I liked what you said. Rules are created. And just to be challenged and yeah.
So I mean, because that changes everything. Obviously, if Vaughn does not have an incomplete, right? Now I'm gonna focus on the left side, because let's see what happens with the remainder of the drift. So there's Vaughn's mistake, right? You come back. Now they keep drifting through. So I mean, outside of that portion,
Justin was offline.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at that, and then you go over to the other one, lead versus lead,
Yep.
chase versus chase, right? I think Justin had a good half of the lead run, and then it fell apart for him. Vaughn goes into him. He recenters, recalibrates. He did exactly what he needed to do. Now Vaughn is leading. He led properly. Justin wasn't part of the equation. And he goes 2 tires off.
I think Vaughn thinks that he had an incomplete.
And
right?
and you did say that
I assumed that, but that was
right.
pointed out to me that it's not technically an incomplete. Or at
So
least,
Vaughn very
one
well,
judge thinks that.
Vaughn very well could still get the win if according to, and we'll get some clarification.
It just depends on.
Because Lantaine did talk to the other judges. He went over there and rapped out with them.
Yeah, let's bring Ryan in, because it depends on how big of a mistake you think the Vaughn attempted pass is, right? Like, we assume that that's an incomplete, but Ryan, what is your guys' interpretation on that?
Well, nowhere in the rules does it say that an attempted pass is an incomplete, and this could be a rule variation for the future. A failed pass, never is it listed that that's an incomplete, and neither one of them straightened, neither one of them lost drift, so they both completed the run. Now, JTP did have mistakes in his lead. Yes, he went wide. That gave the opening to Vaughn, but Vaughn also surpassed the lead car, which you're not supposed to do when you're in the chase. So that's a bunch of ugliness there. The next run, we've got some mistakes and errors all around, and it just looks like a bunch of a big mess for everybody.
Yeah, and then you alternate Vaughn leading and JTP going off. Maybe he thought he had an incomplete. He's going to kick back.
Oh boy!
So here we go. JTP Vaughn Git Jr.
One
more time.
Oh my God!
One more time.
I knew when that came up, it was going to be. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
The internet goes crazy. Look, we have to be fair in both cases here, and we feel like the only way to be fair to everybody, because errors were made by both drivers in the lead and the chase, and you have to see that the opportunity for both drivers to have, like Justin wasn't given the opportunity to complete his lead run when he was in the lead, and Vaughn should be held responsible for attempting a pass without actually completing it. But in the rules, it doesn't say anywhere that it's an incomplete. So nobody got an incomplete anywhere.
Yep. Okay.
And we need to have a clear winner in both the lead and the chase runs, and we don't have that at the moment.
Hilarious.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Oh, welcome to Formula Drift. If you haven't tuned in, this is you can't write this stuff.
No, and eventually we're going to end up getting to the point where we explore all the different loopholes in the rules. And this is one of those situations where the rules are going to have to be rewritten a little bit to... This is something we never could have planned for, right?
Yep.
And it's never happened in the past. So now we have the basis to go forward with a new set of rules, and hopefully we can start off with a fresh battle here. Both drivers can have another opportunity to prove their dominance in both the lead and chase positions. They both have cars that are functioning at the moment. Neither one of them is fully in one piece physically, but I think they're both functioning at a good level, and we can have a fair battle from scratch now. And hopefully we can find a winner based on actual, what's the word I'm looking for here? a win, you know, like
implementation of the criteria,
right.
you know, all that stuff.
We're going to have somebody edge above with a win, you know, like a real advantage in both lead and chase position to get a win, as opposed to technicalities based on a botched pass and a bit of a smash there after that.
I definitely respect you guys for not taking the easy way out. I think you very easily could have, and people probably would have, on one side or the other, probably would have been okay. This seems intuitively like the right thing to do, given what you just said.
That's the goal that's behind what we're doing right now. And after talking about it, it's the only real route we could have taken based on what occurred.
Yeah, all the elaboration on
Unbelievable.
on the minutia of the facts, and like you said, the rules, and applying those rules that do exist. And like you say, in drivers' meetings, the scenarios that are, well, what about this? What about that? We'll address that when we see it.
Exactly.
And this has never been seen before,
Right.
of 16 plus years of Formula Drift.
Yep.
So
And-
you address it when it's there.
Right. Now, you know, when you stop and talk about a situation that there are no specific rules written for,
Yeah.
which side of that coin are you supposed to fall on without actual written rules?
Right,
We in the first battle, or first run of the battle, we used the rules as best as we could as they were written, but they only went so far, and now we know that we need to go beyond what we have for these crazy situations that come out of the blue
Yep.
and surprise everybody, you know.
Yep.
And this is, I think this is going to be a great battle that's coming up right now. They're going to have fresh tires. They're going to be fueled up. Both drivers know that their cars are physically able to run. You can see them adjusting JTP's, I think, left rear a little bit, or they're
Yep.
just installing tires, perhaps.
I think they're just putting on tires now.
Okay.
Yep, they're strapping them on. He's got those rays on the corners, Falcon rubber, and looks like closing the hood, dropping the jack, and we are going to see. So I'm really eager to see what's going on with how this is going to unfold. There you go.
And Jared, obviously this is unofficial, but just the booth is telling us that, looking at some preliminary math, no matter what happens here, tuerck is going to be going to first, Vaughn is going to be going to second, and then depending on what happens with Pollock, he could potentially go to third, or Osbo could remain in third, something along those lines. So that's unofficial, and denofa looks like he's now solidified enough points to be in fifth place.
Right. So I'm just seeing what's going on here. All right, says get up, and there we go. Saw Vaughn leave the pit earlier, and let's go back at it. Pollock versus Gittin. Unbelievable. And when we send it, let's see if we can send it for the last time here tonight. Nope, not the case.
This is one of those ones.
Dude.
Right? This is one of those ones. We'll be at the banquet, whether or not we have that or not. Remember that time?
We'll have a Zoom banquet. Everybody
when
get
that
dressed
happened.
up. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Dude, unbelievable. A beautiful backdrop, and yeah, this is one of those ones. I'm definitely eager to yeah, man, you know what? Can Vaughn go and do the sweep? 1 and 2, or excuse me, first place, both round 3 and at round 4. And you can see Ryan Tuerck waiting in the wings as he will come down on track if we have a winner. Hey, dude, again, I don't want to say that, hey, we're going to have a winner, because then it would probably go one more time. Just saying, if we have a winner. So Justin Pollock warming up his Falcon tires. It's still a smile on their face. Vaughn, I think he got a potential, maybe a little happier about this scenario where the fate isn't dictated by the judges per se, but he is now in charge of his own fate.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody, including Vaughn, obviously thought that once that came down, that he was quote-unquote at fault, that meant incomplete. And the judges were right to call it out, that they kept drifting afterwards, and it becomes something that's judged. And it's a mistake, obviously, and then we saw the mistakes from JTP. I think Ryan's right. It's the only natural thing to do. It'll probably open up a massive discussion, for things in the future, just like a lot of other stuff that happened here this weekend.
I'm looking over at our new judge, Chris Yule, and he's just like
bathed in fire.
Yeah, he's just like, I quit. I don't think we'll see him at Texas.
Hey, Robbie, where are you?
Yeah, Robbie can't make it from Japan, so we have Chris. Who's
remote judging?
Yeah. Chris is like, I'm out. I don't know. I don't get paid enough for this stuff. Oh, man. So here we go. Is this the last time? We're going to send it once and twice. JTP will lead. Vaughn Gittin Jr. will give chase. We saw an awesome battle on that first run. We got accidents. And then, of course, we saw Vaughn Gittin Jr. run away with it on that second run of that battle where we saw the accident. And here we go. We are going for it. Justin Pollock out front, JTP, Vaughn Gittin Jr. VGJ, JTP, here we go. Send it. JTP throws it in hard. Look at that, pulling away from Vaughn Gittin Jr. Oh, wow. Vaughn Gittin Jr. getting close, a little lower on the bank. Justin Pollock delivering. The Falcon tires hooking up into that second outside zone. Vaughn Gittin Jr. punches it back forward to the Ford Mustang. It is the Mustang Pro battle. Woo-wee! Look at that, across the finish line. A great run there, and this, rightfully so, going one more time, Ryan.
Justin still gave that a nice amount of angle from outside zone 3, but I think he learned his lesson this time. Didn't throw it completely sideways. It looked a lot better, and obviously the cars are super beat up, but let's take a look from the eye in the sky. Nice job by Pollock up top. Vaughn a little bit lower for a second, but surging. Nice proximity coming off the bank into 2 and 3 is JTP. Vaughn following him on a little bit tighter line. Big angle from Justin. Vaughn dives in. Safe this time around through the smoke line. Last outside zone, tucking up on the inside. Great battle there between Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Justin Pollock.
Unbelievable. Insane battle here.
So taking a look here, coming down off the bank, the judge is already asking for a replay. They want to look at it at the initiation. And as we see both drivers pass through that inside clip, we're going to get a big plume of smoke right in our face. Here's the initiation here. They're looking at the last standing initiation point. Looks like both drivers kind of got it going there, but it was definitely pretty close. That Budweiser sign is pretty much the last point of initiation before deductions come into play. And there's that big angle from JTP, really using all the course there. And as we got ourselves into this predicament, it was because of the angle that he threw and not able to hold it.
Oh.
Vaughn attacked.
I think there was some small contact there, that front left of Vaughn on that back right of JTP. And I think it was just a kiss. Vaughn says, all right, I'm just pulling up to the line. They've both used their competition timeout.
Yeah, now we'll go into the hands of tech to make sure that it's safe to get out there. Doesn't have a competition timeout, but if there was damage, then we'd have to say, oh, who's at fault? And then just enough time to fix his car, you know, all that fun stuff.
Wow, so there's that is JTP waiting. He says there was contact, again, that back right. There's Vaughn Gittin Jr. So again, it was right before they crossed the finish line, Ryan, was the contact.
Yeah.
But it's a good opportunity to look at this run again.
Yeah, and then the judges definitely want to see that initiation, I think, one more time just to verify where that last standing point was initiated from, the lead and the chase driver. But now we are seeing that Pollock is pulled off to the side, and that's because of this right there. Right there, there we go. So it's going to be the right rear. Crazy times.
Yep, yeah, wild times. Kevin there, taking a look at the car, seeing what's going on, seeing if he says, yeah, you can inspect it or not. We'll get word from him.
Oh, did you see
Did
that?
he give the throat chop? Yeah, it looks like he's taking a look at it. Again, our FD staff inspecting the vehicle to see if there is some damage or with that contact.
Imagine if this was the third place battle. This is why we don't have that anymore, because we can literally go on for hours.
Right.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And and with that contact, no competition timeout, you know. So this is them through. So right now, there was contact that was had, and it's right before the finish line. So you'll see, again, a quick little doink. Because Vaughn is at angle, you see that front left. Watch, he clips that back right corner. So watch Vaughn's front left rim. He clips it right there.
Yep.
He clips it. You see Vaughn's car go up. Fault. All right, Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s at fault. Justin Pollock will be allowed to change out his back right.
Which means Vaughn will
Which
as well.
Vaughn will be able to change tires as well. All right, so again, the plot thickens a little bit more here. Oh man, absolutely insane. Man, this final battle has taken like 30 minutes in itself. Ryan Tuerck, he's still hanging out. He knows he's got third place, but now again, throw some fresh Nitto and Falcons underneath their Mustangs. And here's the initiation, Ryan. This is what the judges are looking for.
Yeah, 2 of the judges asking for it.
Oh, that was a little late.
Roll that back real quick.
That was a little late there from JTP. Reference the red banner, as you say, the Budweiser banner. That is the point of no return.
Okay,
I mean, you can see the cone right next to the banner. Okay, ready? Cone.
Yeah, he's broken though. He made it.
He rolled into it. He was rolling into it, but very close.
You guys put all this emphasis on the wheel. If it would have been the initiation, that would have been crazy.
Oh man. So again, these guys, contact was had, and Ryan, you said it, that JTP will change out his tires.
Yeah, now this is a rule that we've implemented for a couple of years. This one happens a lot. When you have wheel-to-wheel contact like that, if the wheel or the tire is damaged and one driver has to change a set of rears because of that, them not being at fault, the other driver is also allowed to do that. And the reason for that is it would put the other driver at an unnecessary disadvantage by having half of the tread on.
Right.
Because we still have to complete the second half of the run. So we do allow both teams to change their rears.
All right, so an unbelievable. This is wacky, dude. Absolutely wacky here.
What about them being under the hood, though?
All right.
They better, yeah, I was thinking they better stay away from stuff underneath the hood.
They're literally just supposed to change wheels and tires, not get hands on the vehicle anywhere else, just rims and tires. Wheels and tires. Shut up. When we come back, more Formula Drift. We're going to see the second half. Are we going to get a winner? Or is this thing going on until the wee hours? When we return, the finals are here. I'm about to lose my voice, man, just yelling. Absolutely exciting battles. Tell your friends to tune in. Watch. We have one half of the battle left here. Vaughn Gittin Jr. and JTP. Will Vaughn Gittin Jr. go back-to-back? That is Formula Drift round 4.
The last 45
Ryan.
minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes. We've been trying to find out who's going to win this thing. Got Vaughn trying to pass. He gets taken out. That thing has seen better days, but you know what? All for naught. What do you got, Ryan?
I was just going to say, yeah, Justin Pollock ended up not having to change his wheel or his tires. That was not broken. It was a suspension part, so they fixed that. So both guys still have half tread from that first run. So we are now going to finish it up, and that run that went down is judged as regular. Here we go.
Send it. Here we go. The second half of this one more time battle. The insanity continues. Who's going to come out on top? Will Vaughn Gittin Jr. go back-to-back, winning here in Seattle? Separation already. Vaughn Gittin Jr. Oh, doctor, look at JTP. Jumps forward. Late in it. Thank you, Ryan. As, look at this. Vaughn Gittin Jr. into that second outer zone, into the third. Justin jumps up into that front flip. Do we have a winner? Oh, Justin! Oh, Justin parks it! Wow, Ryan, these guys know, don't leave in the judges' hands. They're going to decide. Unbelievable.
For what it's worth, this might be the two most dynamic drivers that when they come together, craziness happens. And I know they've squashed everything in the past, but they are making it exciting for us. Let's go to the replay because I think Justin had a really hard time on initiation, and that is really going to potentially put him at a deficit. Watch the Budweiser sign. See, he's got some backfiring there. He's way behind. He actually is not initiated. He's still not initiated. He initiates way past the Budweiser sign, so that's going to be a big problem. And now he gets back on it, but you can see he pulls some angle out of the car. Perhaps the car is not 100%. Now Vaughn comes off that a little bit early, comes up on the inside, drops a tire as Justin was chasing him up. Now he's a little bit lower in the chase, but Vaughn comes off. You can see him drops out front right, but he still gets to outside zone 2 and 3. Now Pollock on that tight line, avoids outside zone 3, takes out the clip, surges forward, makes contact with Vaughn, stops, and pulls angle out of the car.
Wow.
And for everything that's happened, I have a feeling which way it's leaning now, and that is going to be unbelievable. Woo.
Ryan, Ron Bergenholtz on Nitto Tire is yelling at a screen in excitement and elation. You could maybe hear him through live stream, but unbelievable turn of events here from the exceeding, the passing, and here are 3 vehicles. The sun is setting, but who gets the win? The Monroe Monster absolutely plays a role
Perfect
here at
nickname.
Evergreen Speedway.
Is that you?
Yeah. The Monroe Monster ate up plenty of cars. Ryan Tuerck, 3rd place. Thank you guys for joining us. And I'm getting texts from Cody, Cletus, Mad Mike, how we doing? Mad Mike tuning in. Man, the Lean guys, a bunch of people. Rutledge Wood, how we doing? Everybody tuning in. I'm sure the Ham fam's watching. Unbelievable event. Make some noise. Unreal for these 3 drivers. Make some noise for them. There they are, 1, 2, and 3. What order? We'll find out. Wow, unbelievable. Again, make some noise as they step outside of their vehicle. Vaughn Gittin Jr. outside of his Ford Mustang. Ryan Tuerck steps outside of his Toyota Corolla. And JTP, Justin Pollock, outside of his Mustang as well.
That's nice to see right there.
That is great to see. Congratulations. All right, here's our podium. 3rd place here at round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Piloting that gum out, Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla hatchback on Nitto Tires. 3rd place, Ryan Tuerck. And now your winner at round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Piloting a Ford Mustang. That's all I got. I'm tired. You guys are tired. Are you ready to find out who won? Your winner here at round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship is Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win. Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win. Back to back, round 3 and round 4. Let's see those tears again there, Vaughn. The professional fun have her crying. Big old baby. And 2nd place here at round 4 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Great to see him on the box, piloting his Falcon Tires, Roush Performance, Ford Mustang. JTP, Justin Pollock, gets 2nd place here in Seattle. Congratulations. Wow, what an unbelievable event. Lorette Nickel, I throw it down to you to have some words with Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Final that was for you two. And Vaughn, man, how did you?
Can we just stand 6 feet away?
Do you?
So I can smile and-
Oh, sure, yes, absolutely. We're going to stand 6 feet away. But Vaughn, man, how did you put it all together? Adjustments that you had to make, maybe believing in yourself a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, first thing I want to say is, Justin and I have some history. We've been friends for a very long time, 10 years ago, you know, we worked really hard to help him get a big jump into where he's at. And I'm really, it was exactly what I would expect to happen with us on the track. I mean, nothing less. I'm really proud of him. I've been watching him since then work his butt off to get to where he's at, and to be here in the finals at this event in this crazy year. I enjoyed that a lot. Now moving on to the mindset of the win. I mean, look, winning last night was just unbelievable for us, my team, myself personally, and to do it again, like, it's unbelievable, and it's just a testament to our team's hard work and the things that we've been doing, not only as a team, but as drivers, myself and Chelsea, pushing each other to the next level, and here we are, back-to-back wins. You know, I really thought there was going to be 3 Mustangs up here, and Chelsea decided to go full hot rod. And yeah, thanks, Shaq. You know, oh man, I'm elated. I can't wait to go back and hug my crew, spray some champagne. I'm getting on a red eye to go see my family, and I can't wait to go kiss Abby and Gunnar and spend a few days with them. So thank you all, seriously, for at home. I missed you guys so much. There was always so much love here in Seattle, but the comments and the DMs and just the love and support that I have personally gotten and our whole team has gotten this whole weekend, I'm sure all the drivers, we're just extremely grateful for you guys. And here's the next year here in Seattle. Let's make it a normal one, and let's keep it fun. Whoa!
There we go. Jared, Ryan, back to you guys.
Oh, man, congratulations, Vaughn, and just exhausting, man. And, you know, the ironic thing, Ryan, is the RTR team came in. They felt like they did not have the proper setup for the wet. They went and tested Friday night to get more testing, and here they are delivering. Vaughn Gittin Jr. back-to-back. Chelsea a contender there. They won round 2. You know, but Ryan Tuerck back in. JTB, it's great to see, you know, just the variety, people changing it up, right? And Justin Pollock really delivering. Just overall, an amazing, really crazy, wacky event, but that's what you get with Formula Drift.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible there, and you can see the leaderboard there. We got Ryan Tuerck out front, 272. Vaughn jumps into second place. Frederick Osbo now in third place. Justin Pollock, 232. And denofa. It's tight up there, boys. The top 5 is rocking it hard, and we are going to be moving on to Dallas next.
Yeah, Dallas, Texas Motor Speedway, as Texas Motor Speedway playing host to rounds 5 and 6. Hey, guess what? We're halfway through the 2020 season, man. So there it is. That's how it all played out. That was our roadmap. Ryan, I'm going to go give out some